Laird, thank you for joining us. Clearly, this is a disappointing day for the American Athletic Conference and specifically for the U of M. I'll start with this. Where does Memphis go from here?
Well, it is a disappointing, challenging day, especially when you have so many positive things going. When those things are being recognized but not necessarily rewarded, it's hard. It's difficult for everybody involved. But we have so many positive things going that I think that's the point. Is we keep marching forward. This game is not over. There's a lot of opportunity ahead, and we are remarkably well positioned. So we need to keep the foot on the pedal and keep charging forward and keep people coming out to our games and supporting the Tigers.
How extensive of consideration did the Big 12 give to Memphis, and how and when were you informed that the Tigers would not be selected?
We had a lot of conversation over recent weeks. I mean, that's the way this process really works. There's a lot of phone calls, a lot of dialogue with commissioner, with ADs. I know President Rudd had a lot of conversations at the presidential level, but it's an interesting process. And in the end, they decided that they felt like they really needed to go with programs that were, frankly, from an institutional standpoint, alumni-based standpoint, market standpoint, they're larger than ours. So, challenging, but there was a lot of dialogue, and I feel good about us being right in the center of that conversation.
Well, conventional wisdom and multiple Big 12 ADs have hinted that this may not be the end of the conference expansion for the Big 12. At any point, were you or Dr. Rudd given an indication that the Big 12 would look to further expand, or even a timeline for when that could be?
No, and I'm not really sure that they're entirely sure exactly what they're going to do and proceed with next, although there certainly have been indications that that's going to be strongly considered. So whether it's that, whether it's other opportunities that present themselves for us to continue to strengthen the American, whether it's other change that comes just in the college athletics landscape overall, there's going to be opportunities, and we are doing the right thing. So we just got to stay diligent and stay ready, and when those present themselves, we'll be ready to capitalize.
If and when that day comes, whether that's 2 years, 4 years, 10 years down the road, what can the university do between now and then to best prepare itself for that day?
Well, I'd say stay on the trajectory we're on right now, which is, winning ball games, right? Our basketball program and what Coach Hardaway's doing, Ryan Silverfield, our football program in recent years, and other sports as well. Continue to invest in the university and the infrastructure, continue to build some of these things we've talked about with our vision for the 2020s Memphis Rising and the facility infrastructure, what we want to do with the Liberty Bowl. All those things are going to matter. What I would tell or ask, of our fans is to be there, right? We have a big time football game coming up next Saturday against Mississippi State, a Power 5 school in our own backyard. So it's important that we show the country that we belong, right? That we are doing the right things here and we're ready. So those are the things we have been doing, and we should be proud of, and we need to continue to do.
Now, whenever large change happens in any capacity, there's always a lot of opinions, some suggestions to even be that Memphis needs to change the course in this or that they're doing. One even saying they need to lean into basketball. What do you say to all of these suggestions that there's X, Y, or Z needs to change for you to have a chance to have a brighter future for the U of M?
Well, first of all, I do think we're all in on basketball. We're extremely supportive here, and certainly this community loves it and supports it the right way. So, but I also don't think it has to be either or. I don't think we have to choose between being great in something and not being great in another. We can continue to pursue both paths: men's basketball, football, and women's basketball, and our other sports. We have 19 sports overall, and we need to continue to elevate expectations incrementally year over year for all those programs in the right way. So I think I would challenge that thought and say let's continue to march forward on the path that we're on.
Very good. Well, there's only so much that yourself, that an administration can do to sell a university in these circumstances. But what can fans do in the years ahead to help get that to that point?
I'd say three things. First of all, continue to be positive. Support the Tigers. Tell everybody about us, because we have a great story and not everybody knows it, right? Two, invest and support in whatever way you can, right? We're going to have these facility projects. We're going to have other things we need to pay for. And it is hard to compete when you're dealing with television contracts for other conferences that are dramatically different than yours. But ultimately, it's be there. Like I said, show up, be there, be at our events. We need people to come out and show the world that we're ready to compete at the highest level. We have been, we will continue to be, and we need to show how much people care here in Memphis about the Tigers.
This came down to between TV market size as well as admissions as well. How do you combat those challenges in the next round of expansion, whenever that comes?
Yeah, well, we need to continue to grow in those areas, obviously, as much as we can. But we have so many other strengths, and if you look at all the other metrics, whether that's competitive metrics, whether that's just our location overall, geographically, the passion not only for basketball in this city but football in the entire region is really strong. There's so many positives here: our diversity, our corporate support. Everything else lines up extremely well. So we just got to continue to maximize those things, and then it'll depend on who we're competing with at that time, right? It's sort of like it's like an interview process. If you're educating yourself, you're getting all the experiences. You're going to interview for some big job someday, but there may be somebody else out there that's just got a little something different that they're looking for. So you got to continue to pursue and get yourself better, and then eventually the right things are going to break at the right time. And we've had a lot of success and fun in the American, and we want to continue that. So that can't stop. And I like all of us enjoy winning and want to keep doing what we're doing there as well. So
yeah, and I was going to ask, I think I already know the answer, but when it comes to trying to refortify the conference and also looking at Memphis's best interest, is it trying to do both? Is it trying to pick one or the other?
It is both. It has to be both. And we have to, stay first and foremost focused on ourselves and doing the right thing here. But then, also position ourselves for other opportunities that come up in the future and align with the American to make it as good as it can possibly be. And I think there's a lot of opportunity there. There's opportunity for us to think differently, to maybe think bigger or differently about how things are structured. There's a lot of change on our horizon in college athletics, and there may be other chances for us to do really interesting and fun things there. So we got to just stay positive and stay focused on all those different elements.
Laird, thank you so much for taking some time on a busy day. We really appreciate it.
Happy to do it. Thanks. Go Tigers.